Yeah. And I'm just a
This summer marks 20 years since our mother died, and she achieved so much in her life.
The wills left by loved ones are supposed to be followed as they are written to honor their final wishes. However, Camilla refused to follow Queen Elizabeth II's will, leading Prince William to urge her to respect his late grandmother's wishes. What exactly did Camilla do that goes against the late Queen's will? And why is Prince William left reeling from the aftermath? Join us as we uncover the shocking truth behind Camilla's controversial decision. Queen Elizabeth's will. Like every member of the royal family who has passed away, Queen Elizabeth II's will has been sealed and locked away in the royal archives for 90 years. It will only be opened and read to her surviving descendants after this long wait, at which point her wishes can finally be carried out. However, her grandson, Prince William, has different plans. Unlike past royals who have simply followed tradition, he wants to modernize the monarchy, and part of that modernization includes fulfilling his grandmother's last wishes before the year waiting period ends. While this idea might sound radical, it aligns with his long-term vision. Since stepping into his role as the future king, William has been vocal about reshaping the monarchy to fit a new era. She never publicly supported a concept like New Britain.
My ministers will oversee the fastest ever increase in public funding for research and development,
due to her duty to remain politically neutral. However, her speeches and actions throughout her reign hinted at her willingness to embrace change. She valued unity among nations, service to the public, and the importance of adapting to modern times. If Britain was to evolve, it should be built upon these very values, ones she held dear. That being said, Queen Elizabeth also deeply respected tradition. While she may have embraced modernization, she believed that the historical roots of the monarchy should not be erased. Prince William seems to share this view. He doesn't want to tear down traditions entirely, but rather remove outdated customs that may be holding Britain back. His determination to modernize the monarchy is likely shaped by his personal experiences. Having grown up witnessing the challenges and tragedies that shaped his family, especially the loss of his mother, Princess Diana, his bond with his grandmother was particularly strong. Given how close they were, it wouldn't be surprising if he understood her true wishes for Britain better than anyone else. Yet, despite William's strong stance, his father, King Charles III, remains firmly rooted in tradition. Charles has spent his entire life preparing for the throne under the monarchy's long-standing customs, and he is not willing to abandon them. This creates a clear divide between father and son.
From helping to shatter the stigma around AIDS, to fighting to ban landmines.
If William were to push forward with his plans, especially by revealing the contents of Queen Elizabeth's will, it could deepen existing tensions within the royal family. There is also another complication: Queen Elizabeth's vast wealth and estates. While her written will remains hidden, her assets have largely remained unchanged. If her will were to be revealed sooner than expected, it could cause unexpected disputes within the family. King Charles, who is already aware that his vision for Britain is different from both his son's and possibly his late mother's, would likely resist any efforts to unseal the will before his reign ends. So, will Prince William go against royal traditions to honor his grandmother's wishes? Or will he be forced to wait, like the rest of the world, for nearly a century before her final words are revealed? Let's find out. Queen Elizabeth's final moments. https najas youtube fsd xrb hsmz whitechai etsai mhfx wdmtr lovisfe. The year 2022 ended on a deeply sorrowful note as the beloved Queen of England, Elizabeth II, passed away, leaving behind not only a remarkable legacy, but also great responsibilities for her family. Her reign, which spanned an incredible 70 years, shaped the nation and its people in ways that will be remembered for generations. Even after her passing, her vision for the future of her country remained, a vision she had hoped would lead to a better and stronger Britain. However, in keeping with royal tradition that dates back more than 2 centuries, her will was sealed immediately. For many, Queen Elizabeth's passing came as a shock, but she departed peacefully, free from pain. Few knew the details of her final moments on September 8, 2022. It wasn't until later that day that the world learned the news. Just 2 days prior, she had been seen smiling as she carried out one of her last official duties, appointing her 15th and final British Prime Minister, Liz Truss. However, concerns about her health had already begun to emerge. On September 7th, the Queen's doctors advised her to cancel a planned virtual meeting with the Privy Council, raising alarm among royal officials. Simon Case, the cabinet secretary, was informed that the Queen's condition could decline rapidly. He immediately relayed the message to Truss, who had only just taken office.
They are trying to run everything from the centre of government, despite trying to run the response to a global pandemic.
As the situation grew more dire, tension filled the air. Everyone held on to hope that she would recover, but grim signs emerged on the morning of September 8th. Before 7 a.m., a helicopter departed. Carrying Prince Charles from Dumfries House, where he had spent the night, to Balmoral Castle, where the Queen lay under medical supervision. He arrived shortly before 10 a.m., joined soon after by the Duchess of Cornwall. Princess Anne was already there, having been in Scotland on official duties. By this point, government officials understood that the end was near. Truss, still settling into her new role, had not yet moved all her belongings to Downing Street. Her aides were sent to retrieve her black mourning attire. Meanwhile, ministers arriving at their offices were discreetly informed of the Queen's imminent passing. In the House of Commons, where direct mentions of the Queen are rare, a sense of unease spread when a note was quietly passed to the Prime Minister and senior ministers.
Indomitable spirit with which she created the modern constitutional monarchy.
At noon, Buckingham Palace issued an official statement confirming that the Queen's health had taken a turn for the worse. Diplomatic meetings were cancelled, and growing concerns spread throughout the country. Within hours, senior members of the royal family were traveling by air and land to be by her side. Finally, at 6:30 p.m. on September 8th, the official announcement of Queen Elizabeth II's passing was made to the public. However, when her death certificate was later released, it revealed that she had actually passed away earlier that afternoon, at exactly 3:10 p.m. Sadly, Prince William, Prince Harry, and several other royals had not arrived in time to say their goodbyes. Most of the royal family had been informed before the news was shared with the world, except for Prince Harry, who could not be reached before the public announcement. On September 19, 2022, after a solemn committal service at St. George's Chapel in Windsor Castle, she was laid to rest alongside her beloved husband, Prince Philip, in the King George VI Memorial Chapel. Princess Diana's Royal Journey. https://youtube.b fsdx0bhsmzy SEYU Sila UTQBSJQFCU7. From the moment he was born, Prince Charles was always in the media spotlight. As the eldest son of Queen Elizabeth II, the press closely followed his every move. When he reached the age to marry, he wed Lady Diana Spencer. A young woman from a noble family with long-standing ties to the royal family. Their union wasn't much of a surprise to the public, as it seemed like a natural match. At just 20 years old, Diana became engaged to Prince Charles. In preparation for her new life as a royal, she moved into Buckingham Palace before their wedding. The grand ceremony took place at St. Paul's Cathedral, which was chosen over Westminster Abbey due to its larger capacity. Dubbed a fairy tale wedding, it was watched by an estimated 750 million people worldwide, while another 600,000 spectators lined the streets, hoping to catch a glimpse of the couple on their way to the church. Diana was warmly welcomed into the royal family. With Queen Elizabeth personally extending gestures of acceptance. She lent Diana the prestigious Queen Mary's Lover's Knot tiara and honored her with the Royal Family Order of Elizabeth II. To the world, Diana seemed to be living a dream. But behind closed doors, her marriage was far from perfect. Despite their public appearances, Diana felt deeply alone. Prince Charles, though present, often acted distant, making it clear that he wasn't truly in love with her. The pressure of royal life and her unhappy marriage took a toll on her mental health.
I do hope that bore some relationship to what I meant to say, which is basically that it's a very great pleasure for me to come to Wales and to its capital, Cardiff.
When she was pregnant with her first child, the emotional strain became overwhelming. In a moment of despair, she threw herself down the stairs, feeling unworthy and hopeless. Fortunately, the baby was unharmed, and in 1982, she gave birth to Prince William. Following William's birth, Diana experienced severe postpartum depression. The media, which once adored her, turned critical, scrutinizing her every move. To cope, she threw herself into royal duties, bringing baby William along on her first major tour of Australia and New Zealand. The public loved seeing her as a hands-on mother, and she quickly became one of the most beloved members of the royal family. 2 years later, she gave birth to her second son, Prince Harry. During this pregnancy, her relationship with Charles seemed to improve, but the peace was temporary. Diana was determined to give her sons a different upbringing than the one Charles had experienced. She wanted them to see the real world beyond palace walls. She personally chose their names, dismissed the traditional royal nanny in favor of one of her choosing, selected their schools and clothes, and even took them to school herself whenever her schedule allowed. She planned her royal duties around their needs, ensuring that they had as normal a childhood as possible. Diana had a special bond with both of her sons. She affectionately called Harry naughty, just like me, while referring to William as her little wise old man, relying on him for emotional support even when he was still a child. However, as the years passed, the cracks in Diana and Charles's marriage became impossible to hide. Their 13-year age gap and differing personalities led to growing tensions. By 1986, Diana had started an affair with James Hewitt, the royal family's riding instructor. But Charles had already been involved with Camilla Shand, later Camilla Parker Bowles, for years. The situation worsened, with both Charles and Diana becoming openly distant from each other. Even Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip tried to intervene and mend their relationship, but their efforts failed. By the early 1990s, the couple was barely speaking.
You see, it's much smaller, isn't it? I mean, it was the same height when my father wore it.
After a decade of public and private struggles, they officially divorced in 1996. Tragically, just 1 year later, Diana lost her life in a car crash in Paris. The world mourned, and Charles faced immense backlash. The media, already critical of him, painted him as the villain in the tragic story of the beloved people's princess. For years, he struggled to repair his reputation. In 2005, Charles proposed to Camilla Parker Bowles, the woman who had been at the center of so much controversy. The announcement was met with public outrage, as people still held Diana close to their hearts. Many viewed Camilla as the reason for Diana's suffering, and the negative sentiment toward her was overwhelming. The royal family did not fully embrace the marriage either. Unlike traditional royal weddings, their ceremony was a civil one, held at St. George's Chapel. Neither Queen Elizabeth nor Camilla's own parents attended the service, though the Queen did host a reception for them at Windsor Castle afterward. To avoid further controversy, Camilla was given the title Duchess of Cornwall rather than Princess of Wales, a title still closely associated with Diana. Though Queen Elizabeth extended some royal honors to Camilla, she remained an outsider in the royal family's inner circle. When Queen Elizabeth passed away in 2022, Charles finally ascended the throne, becoming King Charles III. As expected, Camilla was given the title of Queen Consort, but efforts to have her recognized simply as Queen.
The British monarch has given her blessing for Prince Charles' wife Camilla to be called Queen Consort.
Faced resistance. Senior royals, including Prince William and Princess Anne, never fully accepted her. Meanwhile, Catherine, Princess of Wales, had become a beloved figure in the royal family and among the public. Upon marrying Prince William, she was warmly embraced as the new Princess of Wales, a title once held by Diana. Unlike Camilla, Kate was adored for her grace, charitable work, and natural ability to connect with people. She and Camilla were never particularly close, but they maintained a civil relationship. Despite holding the title of Queen Consort, Camilla's reputation has never fully recovered. the public still sees Diana's legacy as more powerful than her own, and even within the royal family, her position remains somewhat strained. Prince William and his wife, Princess Kate, continue to overshadow King Charles and Camilla in popularity. To this day, Camilla struggles for full acceptance, but it seems unlikely that public perception will ever shift in her favor. But what about the royal family's internal conflicts? Could the strained relationship between Prince William and Queen Camilla be the reason behind the disputes over Queen Elizabeth's will? And why is there hesitation in accepting it? Let's take a closer look. King Charles' health. https YouTube B FSDX0B HMZY C or LDB5A NAVX7BZ. In 2024, King Charles received a shocking diagnosis. He had cancer. This news came just months after he had been dealing with another illness, making it an incredibly difficult time for the 75-year-old monarch. Following the advice of his doctors, he stepped back from his public duties, but continued handling state affairs and official paperwork while undergoing treatment. His decision to go public with his diagnosis was meant to prevent speculation and help people better understand the struggles that all cancer patients face.
Palace this morning, this is sad news. Prince Philip has died at the age of 99.
Before sharing the news with the world, King Charles informed his family. While he continued receiving treatment as an outpatient, he withdrew from royal engagements without any clear timeline for his return. However, he still received his daily red boxes containing important state documents that required his attention. A year later, there has been little public information about his health, leading many to assume that he is still battling the illness. After his coronation, King Charles hinted at the possibility of one day passing the throne to Prince William. However, as time has gone on, it seems that his reign will continue. Still, Prince William has become an increasingly important figure in the royal family. Many now see him as Britain's new rock, stepping up to take on significant royal duties, especially during a year when both his father and his wife, Kate Middleton, were diagnosed with cancer. With Prince Harry stepping away from royal life, William took on even more responsibility.
Growing up, you've got to worry about a job, you've got to worry about family life, you've got to worry about housing, got to work, all these things.
Earning widespread admiration, his dedication and resilience reminded people of his grandmother, the late Queen Elizabeth II, with some even calling him her reincarnation. Though King Charles holds the throne, Prince William's popularity has soared, overshadowing his father's reign. Public preference for William over Charles stems from past controversies, including King Charles's widely publicized affair with Queen Camilla, which contributed to the breakdown of his marriage to the beloved Princess Diana. Furthermore, Kate Middleton's grace, intelligence, and popularity have strengthened the public's love for William. Many believe she will eventually become Queen of England alongside her husband, though reports suggest that King Charles and Queen Camilla have refrained from advising her on this possibility. Despite this, King Charles and Kate have bonded, particularly during their shared battle with cancer. He has long admired her poise and resilience, which led him to appoint her as the Royal Companion of Honor, a prestigious title acknowledging her importance to the royal family. However, while he recognizes her strength, he has not gone as far as encouraging discussions about her future as queen. This hesitation has fueled speculation that he intends to remain on the throne for as long as possible. Queen Camilla has also avoided discussing what it takes to be queen, choosing instead to uphold the traditions that were so important to Queen Elizabeth. Following Queen Elizabeth's passing, her vast collection of assets, including estates, bonds, and investments, was passed down to her children, with King Charles inheriting her prized horses. The royal family has always had a deep connection to horses, and Queen Elizabeth was especially passionate about them. She had been riding since childhood.
It is properly black, isn't it? Oh, not so proper.
Having received her first Shetland pony as a gift from her grandfather, King George V, at the age of 4. Over the years, she owned and raced thoroughbred horses, winning over 1,600 races. Her horses carried on a legacy that stretched back to previous monarchs, with her jockeys wearing the same racing colors used by her father and great-grandfather. However, after inheriting the horses, King Charles did not share his mother's passion for equestrian life. In October 2022, he sold 14 of the late Queen's horses, including her final race winner, Love Affairs. Within weeks, he had sold nearly 30 of the 100 thoroughbreds he had inherited, earning an estimated £2.25 million. This decision was controversial, but things took an even more dramatic turn when Queen Camilla took over the royal stables and sold even more of the Queen's cherished horses. When Princess Anne discovered what Camilla had done, she was furious. She confronted the Queen Consort, telling her that it was not her place to sell the royal horses, especially not for personal gain. To make matters worse, Camilla had used the money to buy new horses exclusively for her own family's use. As a result, Princess Anne took drastic action. She temporarily restricted Camilla's travel privileges and banned her from the palace for a period. Additionally, she took direct ownership of the remaining royal horses, ensuring they would be properly cared for. This dispute further strained the already tense relationship between Camilla and King Charles's immediate family. Over the years, Camilla had never been fully accepted by some members of the royal household, and this latest controversy only deepened the divide. But just how bad could things get? And what about the late Queen's will? What surprises did it contain? Let's find out. Princess Anne's Royal Life. https u2.be fsdx0bhsmzy psi ftfnz ljzr puxot. Princess Anne has always been known for her strong opinions, especially when it comes to upholding royal traditions. She has never hesitated to stand up to Queen Consort Camilla, ensuring that the values and customs set by Queen Elizabeth remain intact. As a royal who deeply respects heritage, Anne has often been seen as a guardian of the monarchy's legacy. Born in 1950 as the second child of Princess Elizabeth, before she became queen, Anne grew up in Buckingham Palace, just like any other royal child. She was part of the Girl Guides, which helped her develop social skills and connect with other girls her age. Later, she attended Benenden School, where she studied for 5 years, earning 6 GCE O-levels and 2 A-levels. It was after completing high school at 18 that she began her official royal duties. A year later, she was linked to Andrew Parker Bowles, who later married Camilla Shand, who in turn would go on to marry Anne's older brother, King Charles. This tangled web naturally led to tension between Anne and Camilla. Despite the royal drama, Anne's passion for horses defined much of her early life. Unlike her brother, she started riding at a very young age and quickly proved her talent. By 21, she had already won a championship and competed with the British eventing team for over 5 years. She even won a silver medal at the 1975 European Eventing Championships. The following year, she made history by competing in the 1976 Olympic Games in Montreal, riding her mother's horse, Goodwill. However, during the event, she suffered a concussion halfway through the course, but still managed to finish the competition, despite having no memory of the later jumps. Unfortunately, the British team had to withdraw after 2 of their horses were injured. Over the years, Anne never gave up her love for riding. She became the patron of the Riding for the Disabled Association in 1971 and was later named president, a role she still holds today. Even in recent years, her equestrian lifestyle has led to injuries. Just last year, she was hospitalized for minor injuries and a concussion, believed to have been caused by an accidental impact with a horse's head or leg. After recovering, she personally visited the hospital to thank the medical staff for their care. In her personal life,
I, Mark Anthony Peter,
take thee, Anne Elizabeth Alice Louise.
Anne married Mark Phillips in 1973, a lieutenant in the Queen's Dragoon Guards, who shared her love for horses. Their marriage lasted 21 years, and they had 2 children and 5 grandchildren. However, by the late 1980s, they had grown apart and were rarely seen together. Rumors of affairs circulated, and by 1992, they announced their separation. While they initially stated they had no plans to divorce, Anne eventually filed for one, which was finalized in just 10 days. By that time, she had already found love again with Timothy Lawrence, a Royal Navy commander. Their relationship reportedly began while she was still married. Later that same year, after her divorce, Anne married Timothy in a small ceremony in Scotland. What are your thoughts on Camilla's daring move against the Queen's will? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
I haven't seen hide nor hair of them at that suggestion.